Thanks for watching another video, guys. Gonna do a quick little video today. It's gonna be something different on the practicalities of driving a 28-year-old car. Yes, a 1996 Ford Falcon in this case. Damn, just filming this video, my headlighting's gone. Damn it. I did a video about a year ago bragging about how I've got my original headlining and it hasn't failed. Look at that. That's not a good start to the video. Damn it, it's just a little bit, probably shouldn't touch it, just a little bit failing. Oh well. You're coming with me. Performance. Well, I reckon it goes alright. Brakes. Oh. Yeah. Brakes good enough for me. Jesus. Yeah, well, it looks better than any new car on the road, that's for sure. Styling is just spot on. Yeah, it's 90s styling, but who doesn't love a 90s muscle car? Seriously though, when was the last time someone got complimented on their Toyota Camry? Comfort. These seats are got to be the most comfortable seats I've ever sat in. New cars just don't have big comfy seats like this. I'm sorry. I've been in BMWs and that, but you know, they might have these sporty seats, but these are bloody good. They're fully adjustable. The height, the tilt back and forth, the seats, lumbar support on both the front seats, back and forth, fully adjustable. The steering wheel's in and out, up and down, fully adjustable. You can get yourself seated exactly how you want it. Manual, so it's just not going to break. You're not going to have to spend thousands of dollars fixing it when it breaks, just like a new BMW. Nah, these things are great. Space, heaps of space. Adults can fit in the back. You can fit probably 3 car seats for kids if you wanted to, but easily 3 kids. Even 4 adults can fit in the back fairly easy. Obviously 2 full adults in the front. Yeah, heaps of space. Storage, that's what you want to call it. Yep, heaps of storage. Even some water, just in case you don't quite trust your car on a long trip. You can, I haven't needed it yet, but it's just in there just in case. But yeah, heaps of storage, all good. Nothing wrong there for a big sedan. Beautiful. Serviceability. Let's take a look at the engine. If you do want to service your car, it's all there right in front of you. No plastic covers, it's all there. You can service it yourself if you want. You can still take it to a mechanic these days. They should know what they're doing, but I trust myself more than the average mechanic. So I do all my servicing myself. The only thing I've done recently is really oil change every 10,000 or every year. I probably should do it twice a year. I know you're meant to do it every 6 months, but these things last, I think it's been 18 months since my last service, but I've only driven about 5,000 k, so I figure it's okay. But I do have some oil and an oil filter ready to go for my next service. Just need to get around to do it. Spending more time on these stupid videos than actually servicing my car. Sorry about that. Check it's got some water. Check it's got some oil. Easily put your wiper fluid, whatever you want to call it, in there if you want. I try not to drive it on raining days, but I get stuck in rain sometimes. You got your brake fluid there. Everything is easy. You can check it. No worries. And it looks bloody good. No, other than this, it kind of looks cool. But other than that, you actually can see the engine. It's all metal. It's no plastic bullshit. It's all metal and just, it looks good. And that red rocker cover, that's beautiful. Yeah, that's seeing better days. 28 years old. I've got a brand new one for that. But it's still working. It's still working. Even with these headers, people say that these headers need covers. Oh, look, I don't flog it and I don't drive it really hard, especially on the hot days. But the 448s, I heard they melt here and they can melt your brake booster and stuff. But the 4499s, no, I've had no problems with them so far. I think they're just not quite as close, so they got the distance. That may be a little bit of, I don't know if that was from the heater or is that's always been like that, but yeah. No heat troubles. I can touch it. I've only driven that far, but they don't get too hot. But I will ceramic coat them. Cost of maintenance items. You know, you can get all your stuff is cheap. You can get yourself wiper blades for, you know, a few bucks off eBay, and they work fine. Exhaust is cooked like mine. You can get a brand new one off eBay delivered for about 250 bucks. Economy, yeah, well look, you can get more fuel efficient cars these days, but look, mine's it's just under quarter. It's done 500 kilometers. It's a 68 litre tank, so look, I'm averaging a bit around town, a little bit on highway, but hardly any, and it's sort of, you know, 10, 11 litres per 100 Ks. It's not bad. For the driving I do, not bad at all. Especially on the highway, you'll get well under 10, probably 8 or less on the highway. If you're doing just, you know, 100K trips on the highway, easy. Right, just here at BP, filling up. It's done pretty well. The fuel light's almost on and I've done 533 Ks, so that's pretty good. It's working. I think putting the BP Ultimate in is helping with the fuel consumption, but also probably the biggest thing is probably the new O2 sensor I put in a few months ago. I think that's really helped with the fuel and with the smell of the exhaust, and yeah, the car's running better. So yeah, good stuff. Tell you what, the stuff's not cheap though. $1.20 per litre. Put $133 in. So yeah, 60.4 litres. So so my thing was right. It said I only had like 8 or 9 litres left in the tank, and drove here, so probably used another litre, and there you go, 68 litre tank. Filled it up. It's expensive. And I always like to reset it after each time I get some fuel. See how my fuel consumption's going, and just out of interest. So yeah, I mean, I would love a manual, but as far as a daily drive, not that I drive in the city much, but if you drive in the city, the 4-speed auto, beautiful. You know, you can change, like I do, because I do love manual, but you can change it manually if you want, up the four gears. Otherwise, chuck it in drive and you just go, and it has no issues. The thing goes, it loves it. The thing has 1, 2, 3, 4 gears plus an overdrive in 4th, so the thing just cruises on the highway. 100 k's an hour, it does 1800 RPM. So, you know, you're very fuel efficient on the highway. These big cars, they're made for Australia. They're made for doing a lot of kilometres. They're great. Stock radio, well, yeah, you're not going to connect it to your Bluetooth and all that stuff. I don't. The only thing with mine, I've lost the FM. I've got to go get that fixed. But, you know, 28-year-old radio, hopefully it's an easy fix. But other than this button coming undone, the rest is fine. Look after these cars. They go forever. Well, at least 28 years. But yeah, this big, comfy sports kind of seats, but almost like armchairs, especially in the XR6. They got a bit more support, so they do hug you. But they're just so comfy. They're the comfiest seats I've ever driven in. It's the comfiest position. I can get myself in the perfect position I want to. As I said, I can adjust the steering wheel up and down, everything. I've got all the stuff I want to see, my oil pressure, not that quite works at the moment, I've got to fix that. You know, your fuel, your RPM, it's an older car, but these ones still have RPM. You got your tacho, you got your speed, obviously, you got your temperature, you got your battery, you got everything you need. Look, you can make your dash a digital dash if you want. I've shown that in another video. Check that out. I'll put that up here if you want to go check that out. But yeah, you can do whatever you want. The new cars might have an Apple CarPlay and what have you, and, you know, creature comforts, seat warmers if you want. But, you know, do you really need that? I've gone enough. I've driven this car for 20 years, and yeah, I've enjoyed it, and I've got to A to B quite fine and quite comfortably. The AC beautifully works. The heater definitely works. The AC could probably be regassed. It's been a long time since it has, if ever. I can't remember. But yeah, you don't have your stupid electric handbrake. You've got a real handbrake, so if you want to do handbrakies, but it works. The handbrake works. There's no issue. Yeah, your new cars have these electronic handbrakes. I'm not sure about them. What do you do? What do you do in an emergency? Can you put them on if your brakes do fail or something happens or the cruise control gets stuck on? You shove your foot on the brake, you pull the handbrake as hard as you can, the car will stop. I'm not sure what these electric handbrakes do these days. And how are you going to do handbrakies anyway? This thing works, and because, you know, it's so hard. Oh, that's so hard to go like that. Oh, so hard. We need an electric handbrake so we can just do it with our one finger. I can do it with one finger. Well, two fingers. No, I can do it with one. One finger. That's all it takes. Why do you need an electric handbrake? It's just something extra to brake. Start it up. Give it a few revs. Thing loves it. Beautiful power steering. Absolutely no issues there. you won't find a better steering car. Even today's, I've driven BMWs and stuff. They have a little bit of play. They tram line. This thing just steers beautifully. I've never steered a better car, seriously. And new cars, you know, new sports cars might go around corners faster, for sure. You know, the new age steering and suspension and all that. Look, I'm not flogging this thing around corners. That's not what I drive it for. Yeah, this thing, as long as it steers, it's easy to park. No issues. The steering works fine. Power steering fine. Everything works fine. Got your electric windows in the front. They work. Yes, I did replace them, but $80. A couple of hours work, hours work, and they're fine. You know, if they break every 20 years, then, you know, is it the end of the world? No. Got the old manual ones in the back. Which, why would you want electric ones in the back? Oh yeah, okay. I'm fixing my door at the moment. Okay, whatever. I know that's just literally because I took the door card off just to hit out a few dents someone put in my door. So that's there's no issue. There's nothing broken. I'm just trying to fix some dents in my door, but you don't want kids playing with your electric windows anyway, so manual windows in the back, electric in the front, that's what you want. I wouldn't even care if they were manual in the front, but it is handy just having electric on the passenger, front passenger side, obviously, just to put that up and down. But other than that, she's all good. You got your electric revision mirrors. Look, again, you probably don't need them. Handy to have them on the left, I guess. You don't have to get out of the car to adjust them, or you don't have to lean over. I know some people, if they like parking, reverse parallel parking or something, they might want to put the revision mirror down just to see their back wheels so they don't curb their wheels. But these cars have got big tires on them anyway. Even if you do touch the curb, you're not going to curb your wheels. You're just going to scrape the tire a little bit. But yeah, again, love it. Built for the Aussie environment. What about safety? Well, I've just got the airbag in the front, 28-year-old airbag. It's not a Decada, at least it's an SRS, so who knows, it hopefully won't kill me if it does go off. Don't have a passenger one in mind. I think the EFs may have come out with some as an option, maybe in the higher models, the Fairmont gears or something, maybe. I know the ELs, some of the ELs did, and then the AUs did. Yeah, no side airbags, but anyway, just don't get in a crash. As advertised on the back here, ABS, got ABS brakes. Look, they're probably not like today's standards, but you know, it's better than nothing. They do work. It's good to have. Yeah. No traction control, no stability control, but again, just use your driver's skill to avoid crashing. I guess that's just what you got to do when you drive an old car. Saying that, I don't like new cars. These almost half self-driving cars. Some of these new cars, you go close to the line, they pull you back in, or you know, if they think you're gonna have a crash because there's a parked car on site, and that sort of big warning display comes up, and then I nearly crashed because of the stupid warning, or it pulls the steering to the side. I'd rather just be in control of the car, actually concentrate on driving. You're responsible for the car, you drive the car, you'll have no issues. But yeah, the real beauty of these things, they just don't make them like they used to. Look at them. They do not make cars that look like this anymore. Real cars, real metal. Okay, well, you know, these they did bring in the plastic bumpers, but I reckon they look cool. Beautiful cars, you can fix them yourself. No issues there. And they just, the look's the best thing. The look, the sound. I do want to cam it, that'll make it sound better, but then that'll sacrifice fuel efficiency. So do I want to do that? Who knows? I mean, do I like daily driving this car? Yeah, I do. Do I trust it? Would I take it on a big, long journey? I mean, I would. I probably would feel more comfortable in a brand new car. But saying that, the thing hasn't let me down for a long time. In fact, I had a BMW 135i a few years ago. It was 2010 model, and I bought it in 2017, and it did the water pump twice on me. So I got stranded twice in that car. A 7-year-old car, and I've never been stranded in this car. It's never actually broken down on me. Yes, I've lost some coolant, but I've got home. The BMW wouldn't let me get home. I mean, it was a self-preserving thing. It shut itself down. Even though it was a very cold winter's night and I was only a few kilometers from home, it literally just kept stopping me, and it would not let me get home, and I ended up having to call a tow truck. But these things, well, you know, just keep going, I guess. I have yeah, lost some coolant, and once years and years ago, and it did want to, it was getting a bit warm, but I got home. I wasn't going to stop. Yeah, you know, luckily I didn't warp the head or anything. Or maybe I did. Maybe that's why I did head gasket. Nah, I think I'd already done a head gasket by then. Now mine's got the MLS, you know, AE type head gasket, the multi-layer steel gasket. That'll be fine. I won't have to do that ever again, hopefully. I think I did it right. Did it 5 years ago, and I haven't had a problem since. The car's been absolutely mint. Never driven better. I think it actually had a slight head gasket weep when I bought the car. It did the head gasket twice in the first 6 years before I bought the car. The owner did tell me that, but he said, and they only put a composite, you know, gasket back in those days. But it was just in that time that the AUs were out, and they realised that you just got to put an AU head gasket in these things. So he did mention if it ever goes again, put an AU head gasket. I drove for, I don't know, 16 years, I think. And I reckon it had a slight weeping head gasket that whole time. I didn't flog it because I knew in the end it did rust out or whatever, and it blew. I mean, I could drive it, but it was misfiring. So replaced that, and now it's got, you know, redecked the head, put the high compression, well, the thinner head gasket, so overall it would have raised the compression a little bit, so the thing drives better than it ever has. Absolutely love it. Sounds good, looks good. Yep, I love this car. But it's got me thinking, what should I buy next? You know, we do have a Ford Escape as a family car, but I do want another car. Should I buy a sensible car? My wife probably would like me to. I don't think I have the money to buy a really sensible car. Well, if I did, I would want to buy a Monaro or something. I'm thinking ED Falcon. Why not? Why not have two old unreliable, or maybe two reliable cars? I figure if you got two of them, you know, one of them's always going to work. So maybe that's my conclusion anyway. That's what I'm sticking to. So out there looking for an ED Falcon. I've never driven one. My dad had one when we were kids. He had an ED, he had an EB XR8, I think. ED Falcon Futura Classic, I think, and then yeah, and then he had the which I used to own, the red effalcon Futura Classic. That was a good car. But yeah, I was too young at the time to drive the ED, but I'm sure they're pretty much very similar to it. Yeah, I've looked at a few. I would love one. I'd really love a red ED XR6, but hard to find. I would want a manual one too. Hard to find. I'm looking for an ED, just an ED Falcon. Maybe I like the maroon coloured ones. I'm not sure. Comment below what the actual colour is, but the maroon ones are really nice. They just look good. The maroon with the grey bumpers is just such a classic 90s kind of look. Even the ones, I think the Falcon Futuras came out just with the chrome stripe. And the classics. I think it was the classics. I'm trying to work out EDs. I think the classics came out with the red stripe, but I like the red stripe better, more sporty looking. That's what the XR6s came out with. Yeah, but I like the maroon colour. The red one's probably my favourite, but yeah, it's hard to find a good one. The maroon ones, yeah, I'm tempted. I may have found one. I would like a manual one. There's some autos ones out and about. We'll see. It might be a new car coming to the channel. Who knows? You can run the Falcon on 91 or 95 or 98, but yeah, you can run a 91 quite well. That's fine. I put 98 in it, but that's because I just don't drive it that far. Whereas this actually needs a minimum of 95. Well, that's what it says. I'm sure you can run 91. Actually, you can. I think my wife ran 91 on it for a while. When we first bought it, she didn't realise until I filled it up and said, "Hey, honey, you need to run it on 95. So I think it just detunes it a little bit. I'm sure it senses it. But the Falcon 91, so it's cheap. You know, all the new cars, turbos these days, all the new cars pretty much got to run on 95. Well, a lot of them. So I guess that's just cost saving.